Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. Well, it's Snopes, and as usual, Snopes has been disappointing lately. Oh, and before I go forth, what do you like? Do you like my new camera position? Looks interesting, right? Now you can see my complete ghetto microphone setup. Well, not completely, but at least just parts of it here. Which goes over here. Anyway, back to the article. This is Snopes. The person who wrote this article, Jessica, it seems that when she wrote this, she, I don't know, you can actually feel the contempt, the hate, the dripping, why do I have to write this? Dude, just forget about this kid. It feels like that when you read the article. It feels that the author did not care too much about canon. He did, and as usual, as you would suspect, Snopes rated this as a mixture. Why? Well, you're going to see why. They lied and lied and lied, and it is as bad, 100% as bad as what you see on this one, on the Senator Kamala Harris' ancestors on slaves in Jamaica. Yes, she did. Her ancestors did own slaves back then. Why? Her father admitted it. But what did the Snopes rate? False. And this one they rate a mixture. It's mind-boggling how I used to trust Snopes for these things. You know what, Snopes? I think you should stay with internet myth, urban myth like this. Did Annabelle Doll escape from war in museum? Yes, you should stick to those things. Not politics and much less science. As of late, you have been extremely disappointing. Here is how they misinterpret the entire message and then makes one claim and then tries to fiddle the timeline and hide a little bit a thing here and there just so they can make this claim. You're going to see. Once true, Darius Sessoms, who is black, has been charged in the fatal shooting of the 5-year-old Canon on August 9, 2020, according to police statements. Yes, it's correct. However, no evidence has demonstrated a pattern of ignoring crime on the part of the mainstream news media outlets. This is absolutely 100% false. You're going to see, because CNN, ABC, NBC, well, the alphabet news media all ignored it. They only started to report it after a couple of days and only after a severe backlash from people. Only after then. And you're going to see how how absurd, how hypocritically this person did this article, how bad it was. I'm not going to go through everything here because most of the article is talking about if it was a black man or not. You can see the disparity of the information. They try to focus only on one part of the message. Then instead of focusing on the actual message of the entire argument that the right-wing libertarians, other people have been trying to show, they didn't. They just dedicated one tiny little paragraph at the end. And you're going to see. If you're advocating for it, but not for kind of Hinnant, you are part of the problem. Another user wrote. Conservative launch media, okay, no. While appropriating phrases of the counter-social movement and racism in policies such as say his name, the underlying claims of the post were this: a black man was implicated in shooting in Wilson, North California, and mainstream news outlets purposely omitted the covering the death because the child was white. They did. A 5-year-old Bob was executed in a code block and the media is hiding it because it doesn't fit the narrative, one Twitter account posted. Of course, based on the analysis of police statements, newsrooms' ethical policies, and the media coverage surrounding the child death, we determined that the former session was true and the latter, on the mainstream news media, exhibited a pattern of purposefully ignoring the killing was false. Again, this is once again part of the Snopes playing around with the facts to support their narrative. You're going to see how bad this gets. Snopes reach out to the Wilson police from the documentation related to the case, requested them. Why? Why do you need the documentation related to the case? It was already shown, the facts over there. There's nothing extra. The requested record with probable cause statement, the outline officers investigating will like okay, I'm gonna read that. Additional Will police personnel denied that reporter for Raleigh's local newspaper. The new access to physical copy of the police incident report, citing precautions to limit in-person contact to prevent the spread of the Wuhan virus. The newspaper reported the reporter was directed to a web page on Citizen's information. Yeah, don't care. This one is once again talking about the child, and they are just adding filler to the article. That's how Snopes acts. Just so you see, oh look, they did their research, so they must know, so it must be true. According to the interview with the spokesman, Sheriff's multi-judicial team, the Wilson page included the following session confirming that he is a black man. Really? He was booked in Wilson without bond on charges of his degree. According to the obituary, included below displayed photo, confirmed the child was white. Okay, they recap the okay. The next we search the evidence of alleged scheme on the part of them. Oh, finally, the main problem of the article itself, because the other bits was just to create a filler, just to appear that they did something. Fox News is the only mainstream outlet in the US that has covered Cannon's gruesome murder, someone claimed, referring to stories about the case on Fox News. It is true, they were the only ones to actually report it. To unpack the can we consider a commentary by Matt Walsh, a writer for Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, who wrote on August 13th and August 11th. As you can see, up until then, there was no report of the situation of what happened to Canon Hinnant on the mainstream media, except Fox News and international press like Daily Mail, The Sun, and I think The Independent also informed. Washington Post, NBC, none of these reported during that time. Remember, the kid died on the 9th. August 11 is one of the tweets they showed from Matt Walsh, as you can see here, August 11th, you can see it here, and then another one they made a claim from August 13th. Be known across, and there would be almost certain ranges. Instead, the story has got almost no coverage by the American national media. Once again, 9th, 10th, 11th, you have here, then the 12th passed. On the 13th, they make the claim here, and then and it shows here. But as you can see, here's how interesting they play around with the facts. For the purpose of our analysis, we will consider those news organizations cited by Walsh as the alleged culprit of a nefarious scheme to keep the child's death quiet, as well as CNN and the Associated Press, two news organizations with broad audience. Technically, not quite. Associated Press doesn't have a TV channel or anything. They are, in fact, as the name implies, an Associated Press. They actually do the news, and some news companies, mainstream media, even Yahoo actually collects the article that comes out from Associated Press and add it on their own websites. That's what it does. So Associated Press doesn't usually count, because for them to actually reach an audience, they need it to be shown on websites or news articles or anywhere else like CNN, Fox, etc. As of August 14th, these headlines and other related stories appear on the following news sites, partly disproving Walsh's assertion. First, they use partly, not quite there. It doesn't disprove any of Walsh's assertions. Why? As you can see here, this one is on the 14th of August. Well, updated on the 14th, but according to the address that it shows, it was from the 13th of August. As you can see, it had a whole day between what Matt Walsh wrote on this tweet after the article was shown on CNN. This was only after the backlash that they showed. And I addressed this in my previous video about Canon Hinnant not showing up on the mainstream media. And then we have here from Associated Press. As you can see, on August 10th. But, like I said, this one actually needs it to be shared accordingly to other news articles. But it doesn't mention about the race. Sorry, about the race of the perpetrator. If this was reversed, the first thing they'll say that black child can Hinnant and the perpetrator a white man, Darius Nathaniel Sessoms. That's what it would have been written if it was shown to be a white person. As you can see, let's see this one. Once again, August 11th. As you can see, it's completely different. It's not on the same day. It's in the same day in and of itself, but not on the same day that the child was attacked. And then is Associated Press, so it actually needed a third party for the news to populate. And now we come to the most interesting bits. NBC, like CNN. Let's show it here. August 14th. As you can see, there is no possible way that anyone living on the August 11 would have known that NBC would finally decide to publish the news on August 14th. For this entire article of contempt on the internet, it's the contempt that the author wrote this article, you can actually cut it through like with a knife, how thick it is. But to prove everything, every assertion that the article here says about the case or about the entire claim, it needs to show the articles dating on the 9th and 10th of August from CNN, NBC, ABC, and other agencies. That's what needed to happen. But the author of this article did not do it. They did not show it. Let's do this one. NBC. The only cases in which you can actually claim... Oh, this one is one that they actually added the about section of the NBC article instead of actually linking the article. And one other thing you need to actually be aware. Local news stations kind of reported it, even though it is affiliated to NBC, but they did not get a national coverage. As you can see here, August 9, if all the articles this author of Snopes articles showed up were between August 9th and 10th, she could have made all those claims she made in the article, but she did not show those articles. And this is a local news agency, which is a bit of a problem because local news agencies do not will not share will not be appearing nationwide. This is just for local, just for the city, locally. If this was the other way around, things like CNN or ABC, the main head honcho or the main news agency for the NBC, would have picked up this news and shared it nationwide. So anyone from Alaska would have known what happened in Wilson, in the city. So local news, once again, doesn't count. ABC, as you can see, you did not show. Here, another thing here, it's local, only local from ABC, and it's on the August 14th, once again, proving what Matt Walsh said true. That's the thing with this Snopes article. The person ended up sharing evidence that disproved her claims. I love when idiots do that on discussions, because it actually saves you work. And the person who actually stops and reads the stuff ends up laughing at the idiot who actually shared it. Let's show again. Here, already shared here, this one, let's click. ABC 7th, local news agency, on August 13th. Once again, as you can see, it's all after the fact. Isn't there like a law or something that you cannot enforce a law or something on their claims? Oh, this one is from Australia. That's why international news I did not catch this initially. And they showed only from Australia, like they claim the guys were making that it was only international news agencies that actually did it. Holy Jesus, this article is even worse than I actually thought. Holy fuck myself. This one, I'm gonna save it on my archives of another evidence of actual bad faith articles from Snopes. And to think I actually trusted these people, to actually think that I trusted them. Holy shit on a pickle, this is bad. You know, it wasn't accurate to claim CNN. The Associated, no. Once again, it's completely accurate on CNN. The Associated Press, on the other hand, you cannot. Completely accurate on Yahoo News, because this one is from Australia and not American. NBC, on local, and they also reported after the fact. So this entire article from Snopes receives a big fat fuck you, it's false. But the claim itself is true. However, we found no related stories by Reuters, the New York Times, or the Washington Post, which means we next sought evidence to prove or disprove the assertion. No, you actually went out of the way to disprove the assertion like you did over here. But we do not cover killings as part of some conspiracy to cover up the killing of a white child by a black man. If you actually found anything published on Washington Post, even let's say on the 15th of August, you would have shared it here and claimed that it was debunking Matt Walsh. That's how bad this is. This is how stupidly dishonest everything here is. For what, we reach out to news organizations to ask why they had not covered Hinnant's death and what factors go into those types of editorial decisions, and we will update this report when or if we hear back from them. The news organizations that they are obviously going to lie over this. Because we have so much stuff to cover. And then you turn into the news agencies and they are covering some stupid shit that they thought that Trump did. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. However, it includes promises to report the news accurately. Yeah, bullshit. In sum, while it's truthful to state the Sessions a black man was charged in the shooting of Hinnant, a 5-year-old in North Carolina, there is no evidence substantiating a pattern of mainstream organization omitting coverage of child's death to further participate in a national racial narrative or for any other purpose. For this reason, we disclaim a mixture of fact and fiction. False. You are a lying organization. You are lying, Snopes. You proved yourself in your own article how much you're lying. And to think I actually trusted Snopes. To think I actually trusted them. Holy shit. It's like a bucket of cold water thrown on you. That's how bad this entire thing is. This is how bad, and I didn't even need to actually go out of my way to disprove them. I just used their own sources to debunk Snopes' claims. This is not the first time I'm actually doing this. There was one case in 2016 about a guy being attacked because he voted for Trump. They ended up sharing entire articles debunking Snopes' claims. And they linked the article thinking the person wouldn't read it or they wouldn't care or anything like that. But they shared it and they debunked the entire article from Snopes using their own links, their own sources. And then the Blair White situation. And that's another falsehood from Snopes. Oh my fucking god, these people are super dishonest. You know what? Fuck this shit. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Good night.